Welcome to Framework, the podcast that makes the NIST cybersecurity framework practical, engaging, and accessible. Whether you're a cybersecurity professional, business leader, or simply curious about how organizations defend against cyber threats, this series is for you. This podcast is inspired by a comprehensive guide to the NIST Cybersecurity Framework 2.0, a best-selling resource written by cybersecurity expert Dr. Jason Edwards and trusted by professionals worldwide. In each episode, we'll leverage a few insights from Jason's extensive book to dive deep into CSF 2.0, unpacking every function, category, and subcategory with real-world applications you can immediately use. If you're enjoying this episode and want to learn more, head over to cyberauthor.me to grab your copy of the book and access additional resources to enhance your cybersecurity journey. You can also visit baremetalcyber.com, where over 2 million people last year explored expert insights, articles, and practical tools across a wide range of cybersecurity topics. PR.DS-01, Protecting Data at Rest. PR.DS-01 ensures that organizations implement strong security controls to protect stored data from unauthorized access, theft, or tampering. This subcategory belongs to the Protect function within the National Institute of Standards and Technology Cybersecurity Framework, version 2.0, emphasizing that data at rest must be safeguarded using encryption, access controls, and integrity protection mechanisms to prevent data breaches and ensure compliance with security regulations. Without proper data at rest protection, organizations risk data exposure, regulatory penalties, and financial losses due to unauthorized access or data leaks. By securing data at rest, organizations ensure that sensitive information remains protected, even if storage systems are compromised or unauthorized access attempts occur. A structured data protection framework enables organizations to implement encryption policies, enforce strict access controls, and monitor data integrity through automated security mechanisms. Organizations that adopt strong encryption standards, integrate key management solutions, and restrict storage access based on least privilege principles improve their ability to prevent data exfiltration, detect unauthorized modifications, and maintain compliance with industry security standards. Multiple stakeholders play a role in protecting data at rest. Data security teams and IT administrators are responsible for deploying encryption technologies, managing access controls, and enforcing storage security policies. Compliance officers and risk management teams ensure that data protection strategies align with industry regulations, such as the General Data Protection Regulation, GDPR, the Health Insurance Portability and Accountability Act, HIPAA, or the Payment Card Industry Data Security Standard, PCI-DS. Business leaders and system owners play a critical role in prioritizing data security investments, defining data classification policies, and ensuring that stored data is adequately protected across the organization. Data at rest protection is implemented through encryption, identity-based access management, and continuous data integrity monitoring. This includes using advanced encryption standard AES encryption for sensitive data, restricting access to authorized personnel only, and deploying automated monitoring tools that detect unauthorized access attempts or data modification. Organizations that fail to implement structured data at rest security measures risk data leaks, compliance violations, and increased exposure to insider and external cyber threats. Several key terms define data at rest protection and its role in cybersecurity governance. Data encryption ensures that organizations secure stored data using cryptographic algorithms, making it unreadable without proper decryption keys. Key management ensures that organizations securely store and distribute encryption keys, preventing unauthorized decryption of protected data. Access control policies ensure that organizations restrict access to sensitive data based on user roles, minimizing unauthorized exposure. Data integrity validation ensures that organizations monitor stored data for unauthorized changes, ensuring that critical information remains unaltered. Storage security monitoring ensures that organizations continuously track access to data storage systems, detecting potential breaches or anomalies in real time. Challenges in protecting data at rest often lead to insecure storage practices, weak encryption policies, and difficulty managing access control policies. One common issue is failure to encrypt sensitive data, where organizations store confidential files in plain text, making them vulnerable to theft if storage devices are compromised. Another issue is poor key management, where organizations fail to protect encryption keys properly, allowing attackers to decrypt protected data. Some organizations mistakenly believe that access control alone is sufficient for securing stored data, without recognizing that encryption and continuous monitoring are critical for preventing unauthorized access and data manipulation. When organizations implement structured data at rest security frameworks, they reduce the risk of unauthorized data exposure, strengthen compliance with security regulations, and ensure that stored information remains protected against cyber threats. A structured data security model ensures that cybersecurity teams enforce encryption policies, business leadership prioritizes data protection investments, and security teams integrate real-time data integrity monitoring into ongoing cybersecurity governance. Organizations that adopt automated encryption technologies, enforce strict storage access policies, and integrate AI-driven anomaly detection for stored data develop a comprehensive data protection strategy that strengthens resilience against data breaches. Organizations that fail to protect data at rest face serious security, operational, and compliance risks. Without proper security controls, businesses risk unauthorized access to confidential data, regulatory non-compliance, and data integrity issues that can lead to reputational and financial damage. A common issue is storing sensitive data in plain text, where organizations fail to encrypt critical files, making them vulnerable to insider threats, cyber attacks, and physical theft of storage devices. Another major challenge is poor access control enforcement, where organizations do not properly restrict access to stored data, allowing unauthorized users to retrieve, modify, or delete sensitive information. By implementing structured data at rest protection policies, organizations ensure that stored data remains confidential, its integrity is maintained, and access is restricted to authorized personnel only. A well-designed data at rest protection framework enforces encryption policies, integrates automated access control mechanisms, and continuously monitors storage environments for unauthorized activity. Organizations that deploy encryption technologies, enforce strong authentication for storage access, and integrate real-time monitoring of data at rest security events improve their ability to mitigate insider threats, detect unauthorized access attempts, and comply with data protection regulations. At the partial tier, organizations lack structured data at rest protection strategies, leading to inconsistent security measures and increased risks of data exposure. Data security practices are reactive, with encryption and access controls applied sporadically or only after a security incident occurs. A small business at this level may store customer payment information in an unencrypted database, making it vulnerable to unauthorized access in case of a breach. At the risk-informed tier, organizations begin to establish formal data at rest protection policies, ensuring that encryption and access controls are applied to sensitive data. However, security enforcement may still be limited, with encryption policies applied selectively and key management practices lacking centralized oversight. A mid-size healthcare provider at this level may encrypt patient records, but fail to enforce strict access control policies, allowing unauthorized personnel to access stored medical data. At the repeatable tier, organizations implement a fully structured data at rest protection framework, ensuring that encryption, access control, and data integrity monitoring are consistently applied across all storage environments. Data security governance is formalized, with leadership actively involved in defining encryption policies, enforcing compliance with regulatory standards, and ensuring that stored data remains protected from unauthorized access. A multinational financial institution at this stage may use full-disk encryption for all employee workstations, require multi-factor authentication for accessing encrypted storage, and deploy automated compliance monitoring to detect and prevent unauthorized access attempts. At the adaptive tier, organizations employ AI-driven data security analytics, continuous integrity validation, and zero trust-based access control models to dynamically assess storage security risks and refine data at rest protection policies in real time. Data security is fully integrated into enterprise cybersecurity governance, ensuring that organizations detect and mitigate storage-based threats before they can be exploited. A global technology company at this level may use machine learning algorithms to analyze data access patterns, detect anomalies that indicate potential data breaches, and automatically revoke access privileges when unauthorized behavior is detected. Protecting data at rest aligns with multiple controls in the National Institute of Standards and Technology Special Publication 800-53, ensuring that organizations implement structured data security models and proactive data protection strategies. One key control is SC-12, Cryptographic Key Establishment and Management, which requires organizations to securely generate, distribute, and store encryption keys to prevent unauthorized data decryption. A financial services provider implementing this control may use a centralized key management system to generate and rotate encryption keys periodically, ensuring that stored financial data remains secure. Another key control is MA-4, media storage, which mandates that organizations apply security measures to protect stored data, including physical security controls, encryption, and access restrictions. A government agency implementing this control may store classified information in hardened, access-controlled data centers, using tamper-proof encryption to prevent unauthorized data exposure. Protecting data at rest also aligns with SC-28, Protection of Information at Rest, which requires organizations to implement cryptographic and access control measures to ensure that sensitive data remains secure while stored. This control ensures that organizations apply strong encryption algorithms, enforce storage access restrictions, and continuously monitor data security. A multinational healthcare provider implementing this control may encrypt patient records using Advanced Encryption Standard (AES) encryption, restrict database access to authorized personnel, and deploy automated monitoring to detect unauthorized access attempts. These controls can be adapted based on organizational size, industry, and cybersecurity maturity. A small business may implement basic encryption practices, ensuring that sensitive customer data is stored in encrypted databases and access is restricted to key personnel. A large enterprise may deploy AI-driven data loss prevention (DLP) solutions, centralized encryption management, and zero-trust data access models to ensure that data at rest security policies are continuously refined and enforced. Organizations in highly regulated industries, such as finance, healthcare, and defense, may require legally mandated data encryption standards, compliance-driven storage security audits, and strict key management protocols to align with regulatory security requirements. Auditors assess an organization's ability to protect data at rest by reviewing whether structured, documented, and continuously enforced data security governance frameworks are in place. They evaluate whether organizations implement structured encryption policies, enforce real-time access monitoring, and integrate predictive data security analytics into enterprise-wide cybersecurity governance strategies. If an organization fails to protect data at rest effectively, auditors may issue findings highlighting gaps in encryption enforcement, weak alignment between data security policies and regulatory compliance requirements, and failure to integrate structured data protection measures into enterprise cybersecurity governance frameworks. To verify compliance, auditors seek specific types of evidence. Encryption policy documentation and structured key management records demonstrate that organizations formally define and enforce data at rest protection policies. Storage access logs and security incident reports provide insights into whether organizations proactively monitor stored data for unauthorized access attempts and mitigate data security risks in real time. Automated data integrity validation reports and predictive data security analytics show whether organizations effectively track, monitor, and enhance data at rest security using real-world risk assessments and dynamic security controls. A compliance success scenario could involve a global cloud services provider that undergoes an audit and provides evidence that data at rest protection strategies are fully integrated into enterprise cybersecurity governance. ensuring that stored data remains encrypted, access is continuously monitored, and data security policies are enforced consistently across all environments. Auditors confirm that data at rest protection policies are systematically enforced. Storage security monitoring mechanisms are dynamically adjusted based on evolving risks, and enterprise-wide cybersecurity governance frameworks align with structured data security requirements. In contrast, an organization that fails to implement structured data at rest protection frameworks, neglects dynamic data security validation, or lacks formalized data encryption workflows may receive audit findings for poor storage security, weak access control enforcement, and failure to align data at rest security strategies with regulatory compliance mandates. Organizations face multiple barriers in ensuring that data at rest security strategies remain continuous and effective. One major challenge is lack of encryption enforcement, where organizations store sensitive data without applying encryption, making it vulnerable to insider threats and external attacks. Another challenge is failure to integrate access monitoring for stored data, where organizations do not track or log access attempts, increasing the risk of undetected data breaches. A final challenge is poor key management practices, where organizations fail to properly secure encryption keys, allowing attackers or unauthorized personnel to decrypt protected data. Organizations can overcome these barriers by developing structured data security frameworks, ensuring that data at rest protection strategies remain continuously optimized, and integrating real-time data access monitoring models into enterprise-wide cybersecurity governance strategies. Investing in automated encryption solutions, predictive data security analytics, and AI-driven data integrity monitoring tools ensures that organizations dynamically assess, monitor, and refine data at rest security strategies in real time. Standardizing data security governance methodologies across departments, subsidiaries, and external business partners ensures that data protection policies are consistently applied, reducing exposure to unauthorized data access and strengthening enterprise-wide data security resilience. By embedding data at rest protection strategies into enterprise cybersecurity governance frameworks, organizations enhance data security risk awareness, improve regulatory compliance, and ensure sustainable data protection processes across evolving cyber risk landscapes. That wraps up today's discussion on framework. Don't stop here. Head over to cyberauthor.me to explore more cybersecurity topics and discover a best-selling book covering NIST and other critical cyber frameworks. Please like, rate, and review this episode on Apple and Spotify. Until next time, remember that knowledge is power.